All right, hi there. Today we're going to go ahead and talk about how to fill out a buyer brokerage agreement, an F110, as well as how I present it to the buyers. So for instance here, I am going to go ahead and go to the F110, the exclusive buyer brokerage engagement agreement, and I'm going to select the date. So let's say today, well, this is an old one, so we're going to say 115 to 731. The big thing there is I typically do it for a 6-month period. Additionally, when it comes to the agency and brokerage, I'm going to select the ones that we do not offer, dual agency, sub-agency as well. And then on the next section 3B, I'm going to place does not consent to buyer broker consent broker acting in a dual agency capacity. Additionally, when it comes to 4, this is where everybody kind of gets stuck, so I want to explain to you what I would normally do here, which is I would simply state to the buyer, this is what I get paid. And it is the responsibility of the buyer, as per state law right here, that I have to have this in writing, and I have to let you know that it is your obligation. Here it says, buyer agrees to pay broker the compensation as a value of broker professional services section below, and it is your responsibility to do it. So at that point, I would simply state to them that whatever amount, I'm not going to state an amount while we're on the video, but whatever amount you want to put, and then I would write it in here. And then at that point, I would go ahead and go to the next section, which is that I'm going to say to them, I know you're concerned about it if they say anything, obviously, if they're concerned about the payment, but here's the deal. Do you give me permission to ask for it from the seller or the seller's agent? Of course, they're going to say yes, and that's where I would place the directs. Then I would explain to them, here's the thing. Even though it is your obligation, buyer shall be obligated to pay all. It doesn't say some, it doesn't say a portion of, it says pay all of my compensation, but only that portion that is not paid by the seller or seller's broker. So it is not going to be their responsibility to pay me a penny if they don't want to. I'm going to explain to the buyer that basically we're not in agreement to the contract that we were able to negotiate. They don't owe me anything if they don't sign it. And of course, I'm going to explain to them that it's their obligation to see what they're signing and understand what they're signing before they do. Additionally, I'm going to put a protected period of 120 days. I'm going to explain that in a separate video, but I usually put 120. And then I am not going to explain everything else here. That is up to them to read and understand. We've stated the main things. If they don't understand something, it is their responsibility to figure it out with an attorney or legal help. We are not attorneys. At that point, any general questions, obviously, that we can answer, we will. But I explained to them that this form right here also tells them what I'm obligated to do, not only what they're obligated to do. And then at the very end here, I'm going to give them the ABCs of the agency and the lead-based paint if it's an older home that they're looking for. And of course, anything else you want. You can put them all in there if you want. But you choose, and whatever you do put in there, make sure you do give it to them. Additionally here, what I like to put is I will go ahead and add here that buyer agrees to pay $475 transaction fee to maximum 1 executive realtors and FMLS fee of 0.0012 of sales price. And that's where I like to put that in there. I definitely tell them about it, so I'm not hiding it, but it just gets put in a little bit of a different perspective rather than hearing everything all at once. And that is it. We will have other classes and other videos on the actual presentation with the buyer, but I hope this was helpful for you today.